All right, welcome back. New day, new job. And the new job today is to tackle something I've been talking about quite a while, and that is a blind spot. A blind spot on my loader. I know a lot of you that have loaders and don't have a modern tractor that has a slope on it have trouble seeing the like of these pins, for instance. The main problem I actually seen was using the forks. When I started using them forks, I realised then that I had a problem with no vision at all from this loader. So I'm going to give you kind of an idea what I'm talking about first of all. So when I'm up in this tractor, looking out the bonnet, at the minute, even if I go right up to the top here, you can't actually see where the spikes are at all. You can't see the ends of them. Down along the side, you can't see the ends of them. In along here, you can't see the ends of them. So the only way you know is kind of look at the bolt that's holding the spike on and kind of try your best to balance it that way. But it's not easy. You just don't know where they are. Now look, you can get by with the spikes. You kind of know when you're putting it into a bale. If you lift it up in the air and tilt it down, you kind of know then where the spikes are. So you've no problem really lifting bales. But when it comes to lifting a pallet, Jesus, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. You're hanging out the side of the tractor, or you nearly need someone with you just to tell you where they are, because the amount of times I've tried to lift something and you nearly wouldn't bother. That's just the truth of it. You wouldn't even bother because it's just a nightmare. You can't see nothing. And next year probably I'll be lifting fertiliser and things with it. You know the way fertiliser is kind of looking like it's going to be going. So definitely you don't want to be coming along and sticking a big pin into the middle of the fertiliser bag or something like that, or even worse, into someone. So look, it needed a camera system. It's a must. It's an absolute must. So this is what we have here. I got this the same time I got the lights, and I never got round to just actually fitting it. So here it is. I have opened it. Only opened it there the other night. I haven't even opened the display. That's never been opened. Just to have a quick look at it. Any of you that want to know the specs, look at, there they are there. You can take a screenshot of that there, and you see all the specs is on it. It's Bluetooth as well, so we just need to get power to this and power to that. So I'm told it should be relatively easy, but knowing my luck, it'll be anything but we'll give it a go and see how we get on. So we get it here into a clean spot. And what do we have in the box? Well, user manual. Yeah, that's for bedtime. There's a camera here. Okay. What is this? A remote? Alright, don't know if I'm using that. That must be some sort of a sunshade. This is a monitor here. Oh, loads of wires. Love to see wires. So I'm doing this one-handed, but there's your monitor. No idea what that does. We'll find that out in a wee while. Okay, an antenna. More wires. More lovely wires. Okay, 2 antennas here, probably for the top of the screen. Or maybe 1 spare. We'll see what these are. Oh, probably 1 for this as well. So that's everything out. Allen key. So everything is laid out of the box. That can go way over there. Alright, that's the monitor. Alright. I see a place here already that might be dead on for the camera. There's a spot there. I don't know what that's for, that bracket. But it might work. That'll mean that it'll be on my right hand side. Right hand side. She sits, she fits. Well, that looks like it was meant for it. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't read the instructions. No, I'm just winging it, as we all do, but I'm going to wing it for another while and then probably end up putting the whole thing together and then have to get all apart again. Right. Oh, you son of a... You might say the big Milwaukee is a bit of overkill. Yeah, it is. Now, what the bloody hell is going on here? Wait a minute. I did it wrong. Yeah, there's a little rubber that goes on here first, and I'd say that little rubber is to stop vibration. So I have it in my pocket. Ah, it looks better. There you go. Right, I hear a cop car. It wasn't me. Vulnerable? No, don't think so. What's going to hit it? I can't see anything hidden there unless something rolls back, and then it's going to probably do a lot more harm than damaging the camera, so that shouldn't happen. We should be grand. I think it's alright. I can always make a wee steel plate to go around it. I'm completely protected, but I think it's fine. I think nothing's going to happen there. Now I have to start wondering where all these wires go. I have to find somewhere to mount the monitor. So I found a great place just to mount the monitor there. dead on in front of the windscreen and all, just nicely on top of the exhaust. I'm just screwing with you. Do you know, my options in here are quite limited. There's not really many places I can mount it because it has to be bolted onto a plate. Oh Jesus, now it's stuck. So there's not a whole pile of places I can mount it because there's nothing here to mount it on. That's a bit silly looking there because you're taking your eyes of what you're doing. So what I'm thinking is just mount it there. Now I know the steering wheel's going to be in the way, but I can still see it perfectly fine. I can look up at it or whatever. I can see it fine. It's fine. And I think that's a good place to put it. Just mount it here. It's not blocking anything in front of me. The antenna is being blocked by the exhaust. I'm not sure if that's going to cause a problem or not. I could mount it to the side here, but then my OCD would go clean mad if it wasn't mounted in the middle. Alright, so there's our monitor on. This antenna does move. I think, yeah, there it sits like that there, so it can sit. Now the monitor go back a wee bit. Now you might see the steering wheel's in the way of it. It's not. I can have a little look. It's straight in front of me as well, so it's not because I'm going to be using it all the time. It's grand. What I could do with it, I could raise it a little bit, putting in a little bit of space so there, and raise it up to about there. That probably would be a really good job. Why didn't I think of that? I'm going to have a look at the instruction book that I love to read and see what way these wires are all joined up. But I think we're just bringing a wire to power source from that. And this needs a power source. And these should connect to other Bluetooth. But I'll have a look first now at the instruction book and see what way it's planned out. And then we'll get at it. Right, so had a wee look at the instruction book. And it looks fairly simple. I thought there was 2 wires here. There's not. This little button here. And let's face it, we all wanted to press a red button in our lives. You press this red button and this camera will pair to the monitor inside. This thing here, we've got an extension for that, which I think is already not long enough. I'm going to have to get it much longer because this is all that came with it and that ain't long enough. So I'm going to already have to bring it into the house here and solder on another piece of wire onto it to make it long enough. And then that's going to be attached onto here and I'm going to run that across with the rest of the pipes down and into the cab because all we need to do with this camera basically is get power to it. So I have a wire already run to this server here for the toward action on the loader. So what I'll do is I'll just use a couple of cable ties and I'll cable tie it the whole way up along that and directly into the cab, and then we'll start wiring into this monitor. Alright, so we have the dash all kind of ripped out here at the moment. We have to do a lot of tidying on wires and things, but we have it all hooked up. I just don't want to touch anything else until I know that it's sort of working. Now, before you think I've tested it, before I've actually showed it to you, I haven't. Trust me, I haven't. And I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. But it wasn't that hard to hook up. I just needed to take a positive and an inert. And the rest is supposed to be Bluetooth. So I took a positive from my ignition and just put an inert down in here behind the dash. Here we go. Okay, turn it on. Nothing. Oh, ignition wasn't on right. I see a light. Oh! My amazement. It's working straight away. I didn't have to pair it. Okay, I never had to pair it. I wonder if I turn the ignition off, turn it back on again. straight back on again. Ignition off. Ignition on. That's it connected. What modes do we have? Okay, we can move it about. Upside down. So side to side. Wait a minute now, what is this? Okay, that moves it over slightly. That's upside down. I don't know why you'd need that. Upside down again. And there we are, centered. Well, that looks to be more centered there. Brightness of the screen. Turn it down to get it darker. Bright. Full brightness would be dead on. Sound. The sound outside. Okay. Not sure what that's supposed to do. Oh yeah. So I can hear sound coming from that. That is mad. I'll turn that down. I don't need that extra sound. It's absolutely working perfectly. Oh, I can't wait to get this all fixed up. I'm going to have a proper look and see now there's a camera in the right place, so we do need to move it up. But guess what? See them bucks there? Right, so it's the following morning. It was just too dark yesterday evening to do any more. A real dark day yesterday evening, but that's it. We're getting into the dark days of Christmas and nothing we can do about that. Yeah, another thing I broke was the handle for my door. But I just want to see, if I turn on the ignition, how quick now the monitor will come on. I'm just wondering yesterday, was it all pre-paired, and that's why it came on so quick. So let's have a quick look. Ignition on. That is so fast, ridiculously fast. Now there's a hip of kind of a dew on the camera, because that kind of weather, a little dampish, dirtyish type of weather. So there's a wee bit of dew on it. It'll probably take a little while to heat up, but it's clear. I can see it, and it's in the right place. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over and get a bale, and we're going to see what it looks like when we're loading on the bale. I think this is a bit slow putting on this bale. Remember, I'm doing it with one hand, holding the camera with the other one so you guys can see what's going on. So that's why I'm having to move the steering with one hand, use the joystick with one hand, yonks down. Was all right. I could see the pins. I couldn't fully see them at all, but I could see what the level of them was like. I do think I'm probably going to have to raise this a little bit. I don't want to raise it too much, so it becomes a place where it can get caught. But I might just raise it up just slightly. It's only a matter of loosening this bolt and lifting the camera up maybe 2-3 inches and see how that works. So it can just kind of overcome this bar. That's not going to be a problem when I put on the forks. It's just a problem with this and that bar being in the way because you have the ram sitting on the top. So it's blocking your vision the whole way down. It'll be very handy when you're stacking bales. That it will be very handy for. But it's really the forks. That's the number one thing that I want to see what I'm at with it. Now, one thing I will mention real quick before I feed my calves and go home and get that next part done is the exhaust on the case. I forgot to mention it a few times in the last few videos. I never got as many messages in my entire life about such a small thing, which is an exhaust. The exhaust, as you can see, is back to the original. That's the original one that was on it. I just painted it, sanded it down and painted it. But where did our lovely stainless steel exhaust go? I'm going to be very honest with you. If I don't like something, it doesn't stay with me. It usually is moved on. And unfortunately, as hopeful as I was with it, and as nice as it actually did look, it just wasn't for me. The tractor just was too loud. It didn't give a nice sound. It sounded like there was a hole in the exhaust. Even my father said to me, Jesus, an awful row of that tractor up the lane, and he didn't know anything but the exhaust after being put on. He thought maybe the exhaust was broken or something. The window would be open when I was topping, and the noise coming in actually would give you nearly a headache listening to it, and I didn't like that. Now, we used to have a straight pipe on a 698T that we used to have, but I quickly realised that it works better on a tractor that has a turbo. It seems to sound much better on a tractor that has a turbo, unlike this one here. So I just didn't like it. Some people might love it. Some people commented that they love the sound of it. It just wasn't for me, so we took it off. I still have it in the shed. It's really, really well made, so I'll decide yet what we want to do. Maybe it'll go on the next tractor that's coming. We will up about changing the case. I think it looks good. We've had an awful lot of offers on it. A crazy amount of offers on it. But we don't know yet. Today we're talking about the camera. I like it so far. I'm going to feed these calves. We go home now. We put on the forks and we'll see what it does with it, because that is the #1 job. I'm just picking up a pallet here, and we're going to see, does this work? Now before you ask, yes, I could have picked a better pallet to do it with. I didn't realise the bottom of the pallet was broken, which didn't make it any easier, but hey, went onto the pallet very, very easily. And that is exactly what I wanted. I didn't have to get off. I didn't have to reach out to the window like the Dukes of Hazzard trying to see where I was going. It was absolutely perfect. It done exactly what I wanted it to do. But that's it. It's done. I'm going to show you the actual one it is here before I end today's video, because I don't even know the model of it myself. LG 9040 LED Global. I bought that in Auto Sparky back March, February, whatever it was, way back when I done the lights for that tractor. It's not sponsored in any shape or form. I bought it of Auto Sparky. Make of it as you will. It may suit some, it may not suit others, but it definitely works for us. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave it there for the day. I'm going to go and collect the kids from school. I have a lot of extra runs to do now, but I would like to say a huge thank you to all you guys who messaged me between Instagram, Facebook, even the community page on YouTube. Absolutely awesome. Yes, we had a baby girl, Saoirse, last Thursday, which is nearly a week old now. Everybody's doing well. Baby Saoirse, mum, brilliantly well, so we can't be happier with that. And yes, I'm on a high from it. I'm a bit tired, I'll not tell you a lie, but I'm on a high from it. It was nice seeing all the ladies come together on Sunday evening, meeting for the first time, and it was just brilliant. There's no feeling better in life than seeing that happen. Anyway guys, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much for watching as always. If you haven't subbed, now's the time to do it. You can give us a like, you can ring that little bell that's on the right hand corner. It'll notify you when all our videos is up. That stuff is all free. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Merch that I'm not wearing, I am. Merch is on our link down below on the video, not the website. We're launching a new website in about a week, 2 weeks time. A fan is actually building it for us, which is really cool. So it's going to be launched very soon. But our link to our shop is down below. Just click on that, it'll bring you straight into the shop. All right guys, take care. We'll talk to you very soon.